mentally, physically, spiritually, I don't think I've ever been this tired. Hi, my name is Maddie, also known as By a Thread Knits, because I am in fact hanging on by a thread. Thank you for laughing. Today I wanted to do a little sit down chit chat about Flock Fiber Festival 2025. So this past weekend, today is Wednesday, August 13th. Flock was this past Saturday and Sunday. I vlogged Flock and 2 days prior. So the vlog started on Thursday. So I vlogged Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday because I had a group of friends coming in, and so we did some fun knitting related shenanigans on the other 2 days that I also wanted to include. So all of that footage is over on the vlog, which should already be posted if I get my shit together. If you're curious about like the actual experience, what it looks like, go watch that vlog, because this one is going to be just me talking. More of a recap and a haul, because, say it with me now, I am generous. So Flock this year was held at the Summit Convention Center in downtown Seattle. Once again, it's where it was last year. It's a huge convention center. I think it's 5 floors. The marketplace is all on 1 floor though, and then the other floors are just open for you can sit and knit, and then there's some classes on some upper floors, but I didn't do any classes. Yeah, there's a lot going on when you're at the convention center. I don't even know, like linearly, I don't know where to begin this story on the timeline because it's all just like such a jumbled, chaotic mess in my head. So Flock, if I could sum it up with one word, it would be overwhelming. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Let's unpack that a little bit. So Saturday in particular, the first day of the marketplace, is chaos. Like, there are so many people. I might pop in a couple of clips from the vlog video just so you can see what I'm talking about, but there are just so many people on that first day. My group got there, I think, at like 9:30. The marketplace opens at 10. So we were there a good 30 minutes before the doors to the actual shopping opened, and the line was already that long. It moves really quick though once you start going through check-in and getting your wristband. It goes really fast, but it's just the whole like standing in a line that big that I find to be a little bit not my favorite thing, you know? It's a lot of people on the first day. Also, the convention center this year was so hot. I was sweating like I've never sweat before, to be so honest. Like, it was actually a little bit concerning. It was very, very hot this year, which is weird because last year it was cold. And so I was telling everybody that asked, I was like, oh my god, it was so cold last year, like, wear a sweater. I led so many people astray, and for that I apologize. But it was very hot this year, so that is something to note. Keep that in mind next year, Maddie, and everybody else, but especially me, because I was so sweaty. So anyway, they give you your wristbands like 15 minutes before they open the doors to the marketplace. So we were all just standing outside waiting for the doors to open so we could go in and shop. I was joking the whole weekend that the first day of Flock feels like the Hunger Games. Obviously, Explore Knits and Fibers is the cornucopia. Sorella is Feast towards the end of the games, back at the cornucopia. I really went hard with this Hunger Games analogy. Remind me someday to tell you the Hunger Games lore with me, because that does go very hard. Not even remotely the point, but anyway. That is kind of the vibe though. Like, when you're gearing up to enter the marketplace, it's like you're on the platforms and the Hunger Games are about to start. There's just a level of intensity that is shocking given the like circumstances. You wouldn't think it would be like that, but it is. I didn't go in like I have to get this thing. I know some people go in and they're locked in. It's usually like an Explore Knits and Fibers or Sorella colorway that people like have to have, which I respect big time. But I think that is kind of the source of some of the intensity, is that there's only a certain amount of yarn in those specific colors that people really want, and so they lock the fuck in, and it's inspiring, really, don't get me wrong, but it does make the environment feel a bit intense. Anywho, so I knew I did want to go to Mabel first. So Mabel, it's like an acronym, I don't know the acronym, but basically they make project bags and stuff out of reclaimed quilt tops. So that was my first stop. I did beeline it for Mabel, not in a like sweep the leg, I'm gonna throw hands type of way, just like a casual fast walk type of way. Okay, again, I don't think anybody actually swept any legs For the record, I do not report any leg sweeping at Flock Fiber Festival. I did not see any elbows thrown. Everybody was peaceful. It's just, as I'm saying, like, you gotta get where you wanna go first, fast. And you know what? That's how it be sometimes. So me and my friend Camila beelined it for Mabel. Going into Flock this year, last year I think I kind of just got lost in the sauce and I bought a bunch of yarn that I just have not used. And I think that's because at the time I was still pretty new to like indie dyed yarn. I didn't fully understand superwash yarn and the fact that I'm not a big fan of superwash yarn. And then I also didn't really understand that like variegated yarn is so beautiful in the hank. When it's knit up, it's not my favorite. And then also, I didn't understand that with indie dyed yarn or hand dyed yarn, you kind of have to alternate skeins. Didn't know that at the time. I've learned a lot over the past year about my preferences with yarn. So I think that was good. Going into Flock this year, I knew I wanted to focus on project bags because my couch, it's a small little couch, like a love seat situation. I have one side of the couch where I sit and the other side of the couch is where I pile my projects and my school books and my laptop and school supplies and stuff, and I call it my office because I sit on one side and then I like tippy type or like knitty knit. It does work for me, but one day a few weeks ago I actually cleared off the entire couch and put everything in like logical spots, and then my boyfriend sat on the couch next to me and he was like, "This is nice to sit on the couch together." So I wanted to get project bags this year so that I can make my office more easily put awayable so that my long-suffering boyfriend can sit on the couch. It was a free couch. I want that on the record. It doesn't make it better. Anyway, but that was kind of my focus going in this year, was project bags, notions, stuff like that, and less of actual yarn. I still bought some yarn, obviously. Have we met? I bought a lot less yarn, and I bought yarn that I have more concrete plans for. So proud of myself for that. Preamble aside, first things first, I went to Mabel and I got a couple project bags. So the very first thing I bought at Flock this year was this project bag from Mabel. Look at it. Okay, so I have since been informed that this pattern, this quilt pattern, is called a Dresden plate, and I don't really know what that means, but my mom was hyped about it. So this is Mabel's quilt bin. It's just like a nice sturdy bin. I already have a project in here. I have my Dagmar jacket. It's got little handles and it's also just beautiful. That was my first purchase. And then this was for my mom. My mom also wanted me to pick up a Mabel bag for her. So I got her this tote bag with the longer strap, and I am obsessed with this. Unfortunately, I did threaten to steal it, and then we'll come back to that later. That did come back to haunt me. But this is the Studio Tote. This is just incredible. So this one's for my mom. That's gonna go to her, and I'm gonna be really sad when it does because I love this bag so much. Those were the two purchases I made initially. And then I sent my mom pictures of her bag, and I was like, "Hey queen, so I might steal this from you." And she said, "Absolutely not. You're not doing that. Go get your own." So I went back and I asked if she had anything similar to the bag I got from my mom, and she actually had a maker's caddy that was made from the same quilt top. And so that was just too cute to have the same quilt top bag as my mom. That's so cute. So I bought this too. Mabel did rob me blind. Financially, I'm never gonna recover from that. They took me for all I was worth. Do I have regrets? I'm gonna go with no, because these are so beautiful. So this is gonna be addition to my office couch, my office couch, and we'll store projects. I haven't put anything in here yet because I was waiting to show you guys it, but oh, it's just so beautiful. This one has pockets in it. The Dresden plate one does not have pockets, which is my main complaint about that. This one is, again, very sturdy, very like nice canvas handles, and also just gorgeous and matches my mom's. So now my mom can have her bag and I won't threaten to steal it anymore. All my purchases from Mabel, and right off the bat, that was expensive. So things already weren't looking great in terms of budget, and I am justifying that with it's once a year. I was saving up for it. I've been nothing but a good girl, always, ever. So keep that in mind. and we shall continue. Those were my first purchases, and then from Mabel, I went over to Mabel and Jess. Mabel and Jess from Mabel. Anyway, it was funny to me. But Mabel and Jess is owned by a friend of mine, Jess. Mabel is in fact a cat, and I was very excited to see her vending this year, and there were a few things I did want to pick up from her directly. She brought these hats and they're so freaking cute. It says I'd rather be knitting, and it's just a classic baseball style, and I'm not gonna put it all the way on because I have a clip. Just imagine if it was all the way on my head. It's so cute. I love this. I've already worn it. So she had the cream color, she had a brown, she had a royal blue, and a black, and I went with the cream because the other one I liked was the brown, but I thought with my hair not enough contrast, you know, so went with cream. Love this thing. Pry this from my cold dead hands. And then also from Mabel and Jess, I picked up their stitch marker necklace. Let me take my stitch markers off and show you what it looks like without them. I was just kind of storing stitch markers on this. I got silver because I'm a silver girly. It has this kind of carabiner clip, and then you take the carabiner clip thing and you can open it and put stitch markers on it. Isn't that just the cutest darn thing you've ever seen? I thought this was brilliant. Jess is one of the great minds of our generation, so I was very excited to pick this up finally. I've had my eye on this for so long, but I wanted to be able to actually try on the length, and I am quite happy with this purchase. It's cute, it's functional. If you're like tits deep in an 8-hour knitting sesh and you're like, where are my stitch markers? They're right there. That's major, and it's also just cute by itself. I would have been losing money. But no, I love Jess. Everything she makes is just so high quality and beautiful, just like her. And yeah, Jess is wonderful. It was really cool to see her as a vendor this year because we actually met at Flock last year, so we were calling it our anniversary as well, which was very romantic. It was great to see Jess as always, and I'm very proud of her. And yeah, check out Mabel and Jess. I think she's gonna restock the hats on her website, by the way. So those were my Mabel and Jess purchases, and then I think from there I went to Reiko Co. Unsure on pronunciation there, but it's the beaded jewelry. You might remember I bought the rainbow trout earrings at Rose City Yarn Crawl, and this time I had to get the sardines. I had a lengthy debate between the rainbow trout and the sardines during the Rose City Yarn Crawl, and I went with the rainbow trout, and I love the rainbow trout, but I also really loved the and so I was like, you know what, it's Fish Girl Summer. If I'm gonna do it, why not? I love these earrings. They're so light. I will put them in because I was planning on doing that. Don't let me lose those earrings though. I'm saying that like you can help me. So I'm very happy I picked these up. And the funny part, can I do this without a mirror? I didn't get my ears pierced until I was like 19, like at all. And then I got 4 piercings in one sitting. I actually got my nose pierced before I got my ears pierced, which was weird of me. I can't find it. Oh my God. Struggle bus, I'm on a struggle bus. The leaves on the struggle bus go round and round, round and round. Okay, got one. I love them so much. So these ones are a little bit smaller and they're more sparkly than my rainbow trout, but I was about to tell you, the really funny part is my friend India from Portland, she bought the sardines during the Rose City Yarn Crawl, and then she really wanted the rainbow trout at Flock. And so she bought the rainbow trout, I bought the sardines. We like flip-flopped. It was funny. I don't know. You had to be there. That was another bigger purchase I made, and I have absolutely no regrets because I am obsessed with these. These are another one. I've already worn them several times. And then next up, I got another project bag. So this was from Kada Golda, and she is a very local to me business who makes these wonderful little linen pouches. Everything she makes is dyed with things she grows in her garden. So I talked this poor lady's ear off. I was there for a good 15 minutes just chatting about plant dye and gardening and such. I bought this pouch. It's very nice. It doesn't quite close all the way, which is a bit sad, but I think this will be great for like a smaller hat or sock project in my office. And then also, if you made a purchase, she had these little smaller bags, also plant dyed, also linen, and these were $1 if you bought something. So obviously I grabbed 3 of them because I use little bags like this for everything. So I was very happy about that. And yes, I was begging her to teach me how to plant dye, and she put me on a list. So I don't know if that was just to get rid of me or she's actually gonna call me, but I hope she does because I really want to learn how to dye stuff and things with plants because that is just so sick. So yes, that is another little project bag I got. Beautiful, stunning. I forget what she said she dyed these with, but she did tell me. Obviously in the 15 minutes I was berating her with questions. So thank you to Kada Golda, and I apologize for being a nuisance. In the order of operations, we're about around lunchtime now when I took a break, sat with my friends and knit for a little bit, and then I had made plans with Rachel and Jessica, also known as those twins who knit, to meet up for lunch. We've been chatting online for a little bit. They're just so funny and they're so nice, and I was very excited to meet them in real life and get to hang out with them and their husbands. So we all met up at the Sheep. If you're familiar, there's a sheepery that brings 2 sheep to flock apparently every year, and it's an excellent landmark if you need to meet somebody. Just say I'll meet you at the Sheep. It's pretty hard to mix that up because there's just the 2 sheep. So we met at the Sheep, and if you can believe this, they're even prettier in person. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried about telling them apart. Once you see them in real life, it's like you can tell them apart. It's not that confusing because I was like, you're not on your sides. Like, I know Rachel's over here, Jessica's over here, but you're everywhere. But it was not difficult at all to tell them apart. Met up with Rachel and Jessica and their husbands, and we walked over to Mr. West Cafe, which was kind of diagonal of the convention center block, and it was a little bit less crowded than some of the more immediate places around the convention center. I love Mr. West. They have great food, great drinks, but this is okay. Also, another side tangent here, but it is somewhat relevant. I had the worst canker sore of my life that whole weekend. It's still here, but it was basically up behind my wisdom tooth. I actually don't know if it's a canker sore or if it's like the rest of my wisdom tooth coming out. I need to get those removed, but I'm scared. I really don't want to. Anyway, so I don't know if it's wisdom tooth related or if it's just a canker sore. It's getting better, but over the weekend, it was like some of the worst mouth pain I've ever been in. I was popping aspirin like they were candy. I had some gel I was shoving back there. It was not pretty. Anyway, moral of the story, I was trying to eat a salad and it was like the saddest scene I've ever saw because I couldn't open my mouth all the way. So I'm just at lunch with these 2 people who I like really admire and respect, and I'm just like, who's surprised that I embarrassed myself in front of people I like? Nobody. But anyway, they were it was fine. I just didn't eat very much and I felt bad because I looked like a weirdo, but that was unfortunately inevitable, I fear. Anyway, so we got lunch and it was so much fun. Oh my God, they're so funny. Okay, I love Rachel and Jessica. I've been a fan of their podcast. They were like the first knitting podcast I got invested in, and I've just been such a fan, and I think they are so incredibly talented and also so sweet and also so funny. So I was really excited to get to meet up with them, but they are incredibly delightful and I am very excited to see them again. Hopefully next year, which sounds like such a long time, but they live in Missouri, which I just found out actually this weekend that Kansas City is not in Kansas. I guess it's like half in Kansas and half in Missouri. Who's responsible for that? Because I hate it. But anyway, so yeah, they're quite a ways away from me over in Seattle, but yeah, they were such a delight to meet and hang out with. And so we went back to the marketplace and I walked around and shopped with them for a couple hours and we just had a silly, goofy, good time. They ended up peer pressuring me. Like, I thought I was the one doing the peer pressuring. No. And here's the thing about the twins is that there's 2 of them. And so it's double peer pressure. Like, you can't, I crumbled. And what I crumbled with was this. So this is Denali sock from Explore Knits and Fibers in Butterfly Pea Flower. I really liked this color when she first announced it. I think it was the Farmer's Market collection. And I was like, oh, I don't know, it's really pretty. I'm probably not gonna get it. And then she only had it left in the sock base. And I was holding it up and both Rachel and Jessica were like, you have to get it. And again, there's 2 of them. So like, you too would crumble under that pressure. I was like, oh no, I think they're right. It is really pretty. So I bought 4 skeins of this. This is the one yarn purchase that I wasn't like very sure of what I wanted to make with it, because I think I may have to hold it double for something, in which case like I'll only have enough probably for a tank top. There's 400 yards in each of these, so 4, 8, 12, 16. I have 1600 yards of this as a fingering weight situation. So 800 if I hold them double for more of a DK. Let me know if you have suggestions. This one is absolutely crumbling like a dying star. Yeah, so this was my first yarn purchase of Flock, and I'm happy I got it. After that, Jessica's husband and I were chatting. I was telling him like some of the knitting celebrities that were at Flock. I was like, oh yeah, sorry, Nordland's here. And he said, I think Jessica would pass out if she met Sari Nordland. So then it became my personal mission to like get the twins to meet Sari Nordland. So I am friends with the manager of La Mercerie, and La Mercerie is who runs Flock. And so I texted Taylor and I was like, where was Sari Nordland last seen? Some real creepy stuff. But she was doing a book signing at the La Mercerie booth. And so I didn't tell the girls where we were going, and I was like, just follow me. And then Sari was there and she was free. They got to meet her and take pictures with her, and it was so cute. They were both blushing really hard. It was really cute. So yeah, they got to meet Sari, which was really cool for them. I was very proud of myself for pulling off a little sneaky surprise, and shout out Taylor for assisting me in that. And yeah, we got a lot of pictures of them together and it was really sweet. So after that, they went on their merry way back to Missouri, not Kansas, Missouri. And yeah, so that was super fun. So after sent the girls off, I went back with my main group of friends, and if you recall, actually this is the same group from last year. Last year at Flock, I met a big group of people through a group chat, and we have stayed connected over the entire year. We chat daily pretty much, and we have like virtual knit nights every so often. And so a big group of them split a Verbo in Capitol Hill, and we just hung out that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was so much fun. And again, you can see all those shenanigans and more over on the vlog. But I met back up with my big group of friends and we continued doing our little thing. Sorry I said that. I got a pierogi because I was starving at that point and I had to like shove it in my mouth. It was a tough watch. And then we did a few more sweeps of the marketplace, and I bought one more thing from Camellia Fiber Co. Bought 3 skeins of their Serene Merino DK in the color Sweet Pea. I love a good sweet pea. So they got me there, and I just also thought this blue was beautiful. It's like the perfect light dusty blue. And with this, I think I want to make a Margot top by Gregoria Fibers. So this is 100% merino though, so I don't know how that would work with the Margot top. If anybody has any thoughts, feelings, or emotions about that, please do tell. There's 218 yards in these skeins, so I think I should have enough for a Margot top or something of the like. Let me know if you think that's a bad idea, but I really love this color. It was so pretty, so bought that. On Saturday night at 6 o'clock, so the marketplace closed at 5. At 6 there was a brewery event at a brewery called Stoop, which I guess is very popular and I've never been. I had tickets to that. There was like an hour in between where I could like decompress from the day. It was overwhelming, but I got to meet a lot of you guys, and that was like one of the coolest experiences of my life. And I got to give you guys the stitch markers I made, and I ran out of stitch markers, guys. So that was very nice. Thank you for taking them because I had entirely too many stitch markers. I got to meet so many cool people, and it was wild to like have people recognize me from this. To be so honest, I forget that people watch these. Like logically I know, like I see the numbers, I know. It's just different when it's in real life and people are like recognizing you in real life, and it was crazy and so cool and so overwhelming, but in a good way. And it was just, thank you everybody that said hi to me. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for taking stitch markers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I never expected this to surpass more than like 100 people ever. Not to get earnest on Maine here, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was by far the highlight of the weekend for me, was getting to meet so many of you guys, and it was incredible. So if I talk about it anymore, I'm gonna cry, and like we can't be doing that. Not on Maine. We're just gonna moving right along. But yeah, it was crazy and it was super cool, and thank you. God damn it. Anyway, it was like an hour between, decompressed for a little bit. June and I split a soft pretzel in dead silence, and that was delightful. I think we both needed that. I had to take an Uber over to the Verbo to meet my friends, and then we all went to the brewery together. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the brewery thing. Last year I think they did like a rooftop situation, and I heard very mixed reviews on that, but I didn't like this. It was very loud. It was so crowded, overwhelming. It was supposed to be like a meet and make. And I, for some reason, thought like everybody would be like up and moving around and talking and chatting and stuff, but everybody was just like very stationary and working on their projects, which like makes sense given the crowd, but it just wasn't quite what I was expecting. It just wasn't very exciting, and it was hot and it was crowded and it was overwhelming, and I was already really tired, and so I was like actively crashing out because I was like, I want to go home. So I did. I only stayed at the brewery an hour or less, and then I went home. Fell asleep at 8:30, woke up, did it again the next day, and Sunday is so much chiller. A lot of people are sold out of a lot of stuff at that point, and if you were hoping to get anything specific, you got it the day before. So Sunday's just like really a browse and a silly, goofy good time, and yeah, this year was no exception. It was great. I really like Sunday. If you're debating between going just Saturday or Sunday, and you don't have very specific things that you want to get, I would recommend going Sunday. It's just so much less overwhelming. There was no line to get in. Everybody just went up whenever if you had your wristband, and bebopped around for a bit with my friends. And then I met up with my friends Sarah and Kelsey. Sarah is the one that's teaching me how to sew. Got to meet up with them and hang out with them for the day, which was really nice, and just kind of hung out, went around. Yeji and I actually went together on this day. So we Ubered together from our houses because we live less than 5 minutes away from each other. So she just walked to my apartment and we went together. We wore our matching sardine sweaters from Sweater Weather Ceramics, which was so cute. And we didn't even plan it. I think we both knew subconsciously that we were gonna wear the sardines, but she showed up at my house and I walked downstairs and I was like, hey. She said if I came down not wearing that, she was gonna send me back up. And I was like, I believe that. That was really cute for us. And yeah, so got to spend the day with Yeji and Sarah and Kelsey and the rest of the group, which was delightful. Bebopped our little hearts out, took some pictures, met some more really cool people, and I bought one more thing. On Sunday, I bought 3 more skeins, and that was it. These ones are from Terrapin Fiberworks, which is a new to me dyer, but I really liked their colors, and they do all plant bases, I think. So this is 100% cotton, Chesapeake DK in the color Cornflower. Beautiful little like purpley blue. And I'm just now realizing that everything I got this year was purple or blue. So that's an interesting note. With this one, I am planning on making a Vilma top by Brewery Fibers, but now I'm like, wait, should I use the sweet pea wool yarn to make the Vilma top and then use the cotton for the Margot? But I like the colors better for the assigned projects. So I'm just really conflicted here, guys. Again, if you have any thoughts, do you think I can use the cotton to make the Vilma? Is that like against the law? What is gonna happen to me if I do that? Same with the Margot. Let me know how you think that'll play out, because that's what my heart wants, and who am I to fight that? And again, if you have suggestions for the EFK sock yarn, let me know. I want to make a garment out of it. That was all the shopping I did on Sunday. We're all very proud of me. And then, oh my gosh, also Ocean Knits had a photo booth, which was really cute. They were taking Polaroids. So my friends Camila and Nyla, we took a Polaroid together at Ocean Knits and Fibers, which was so cute. And they also had like a little ball pit, and Yeji's daughters came to the convention center later and we put them in the ball pit. It was so much fun. That was great. Ocean Knits did a great booth this year, as always. And yeah, after we did our shopping, we just sat on the stairs at the convention center. We found like a little corner on the 5th floor, just posted up there for a while, and that was really nice. And then after we left the convention center, we went to Katsu Burger, which was not our first choice. We tried to go to Rachel's Ginger Beer in Cap Hill because they have that chicken place inside Rachel's Ginger Beer, which is so good. I never remember what it's called, but it's so good. But they were closed, even though they said they were open online. So I was very upset about that because I really wanted a chicken sandy. So we went to Katsu Burger because it was right down the street, and that was not very good, to be so honest. And also I could barely eat. I had to use a fork and knife on a burger. That was the low point of my life. That was another tough watch, and luckily I got to eat most of that. It was hard, but I did it. I was very brave about it. And then after that, Nyla and Camila went back to the Verbo, and me, June, Sarah, and Kelsey went to Salt and Straw. Got some ice cream. I tried the zucchini bread chocolate chip. Salt and Straw is wild. It was like pumpkin spicy almost. Spiced cookies and cream. It was so good. I want to have it again. And then after that, we walked over to Cal Anderson Park to see Saint Rat. It's like this mosaic that somebody put up of a rat that's a saint, and it's called Saint Rat, and it keeps getting painted over by the city, and then people keep removing the paint, and it's just become a thing. And now there's like a shrine involved. So I really wanted to see it. And so did Kelsey and June. Sarah had already seen it, and so we went over, we paid our respects to Saint Rat, which was a delightful way to end the weekend, in my opinion. After that, went home, crashed hard. The next day, got up, went to Pike Place Market and got crumpets with Nyla, Camila, Sydney's mom, India, Willie, that whole gang. And then, but we got crumpets at the crumpet shop, which I've never had the delight of having a crumpet before. It was great. It's like a pancake English muffin combo. Can't go wrong. So after that, everybody departed, and that was the conclusion of Flock 2025 for me. I had a great time this year. It was very different from last year, which is crazy, like how much can change in 1 year. So I'm excited to see what next year looks like for me and for the event and everything. There were more vendors this year. It was laid out a little bit better, less congested, and yeah, it's a great event. If you are able to make it over, I highly recommend you do. That was my Flock experience and my Flock haul of the year, and I'm excited to get the stuff knit up. I don't think I mentioned this. Oh my gosh, it was hiding from me. One last thing I bought on day one was a new mini Bewitched boxy bag from Black Pearl Magic, whom I love. I got to meet Shayla in real life, which was very fun for me. So this is a second little travel bag. I use my one I got last year all the time, so I wanted another one because I'm a multi-tote bag girly. So I got the yellow this year, and it has a little star on it, and I like the clasp this year a little bit better. The other one you have to like push it in like that, but this one has the little lever situation. So that was great, and I'm very happy to have another mini Bewitched boxy bag. Highly recommend. Okay, glad I saw that because I was like, I know I'm missing something. What was this? Black Pearl Magic. Love them. Okay, that's for real the conclusion. It was great. I had a ton of fun. Thank you again if you said hi to me. That was so cool. And I hope you enjoy your stitch markers. I enjoy making them. I hope I see you there next year. Let me know. It was great fun. Yeah, I am so tired. I'm also doing finals right now for summer semester, so I need to go write a paper. I should go do that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out the vlog if you haven't already, and subscribe perhaps. Maybe it's free. You can do that. Any other YouTube things I'm supposed to say, just pretend like I said them, please. And I'm gonna go. Later, skater. That's worse. That's worse.